3.3, we're solving by factoring. So, step 1, if needed, move all terms to one side so our equation equals 0. Step 2, factor as needed. So, we have from Unit 2 all of those methods of factoring that we could list right here. Step 3, set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. We will have as many answers as the largest exponent in the equation. So for example, when we look at this equation, our largest exponent is 3. So that means we will have 3 answers. So before we solve by factoring, let's review factoring. So we have 3 terms. We're going to solve this using our complex ABC. So we multiply 4 and negative 3. So 4 times negative 3 equals negative 12. Now we need factors of negative 12 that add to make negative 1. So negative 4 and through positive 3 multiply to make negative 12 that add to make negative 1. So those are our factors. So we have 4x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 3. Then we group, factor out our GCF, 4x, so we're left with x squared, so we're left with x minus 1 plus, we can take out a 3, and we're left with x minus 1. Our common binomial, x minus 1, comes out to the front, then we get 4x plus 3. Oops. For B, first check for GCF, we can take out an x, and we're left with x minus 11. Nothing else we can do from there. And then C, we can take out a 3x, and we're left with x squared minus, 81. And then we can factor further by using our difference of squares. So x minus 9, then x plus 9. So now we're actually going to solve. So now we have those same problems as before. So when we look back at A, we had x minus 1 and 4x plus 3 as our factors. So x minus 1, 4x plus 3 is our factored answers. We're going to set both of those equal to 0. So when we do that, we actually don't need the parentheses. So we're going to have x minus 1 equals 0 and 4x plus 3 equals 0. And then we solve like we would any other equation. So plus 1, plus 1. So we get x equals 1. And then For this one, we subtract 3. 4x equals negative 3. Divide by 4. X equals negative 3/4. And if we just double check, our largest exponent was a 2. We have 1, 2 answers. So those are our solutions. For B, when we factored this, we had x and x minus 11. So now we set those both equal to 0. So x equals 0 and x minus 11 equals 0. And then we can solve. Well, for x equals 0, that's all it is. There's nothing else we can do. X minus 11, we add 11 on both sides, so we get x equals 11. We double check our exponent, it's a 2. We have 1, 2 solutions. Right? Then letter C. When we factored this, we had x minus 9, and x plus 9. So now we need to set all 3 of those equal to 0. And then we can solve. X equals 0. Add 9 on both sides, so we get x equals 9. And then subtract 9 on both sides, getting x equals negative 9. And if we check our exponent, our largest exponent was a 3. We have 1, 2, 3 solutions. So now, in this one, we have an x cubed on the left with 9x squared minus 20x on the right. I am actually going to move my right side, that 9x squared minus 20x, over. And the reason is I want to keep that x cubed positive. So I'm going to subtract 9x squared and add 20x. And we would do that on both sides, getting us x cubed plus 9x squared plus 20x. That should be 9x squared minus 9x squared equals 0. Now we can factor. We can take out an x. And now we can do our x method. So on the left are our x's. Negative 4 times negative 5 gives us positive 20. When we add those, we get negative 9. So x minus 4, x minus 5. And that equals 0. So now we set those all individually equal to 0. That's a really bad 0. There we go. So then x equals 0. We can add 4 to this middle one on both sides. So x equals 4. We can add 5. So x equals 5. If we check, our largest exponent was a 3. We have 1, 2, 3 solutions. So now try this one yourself. So for this one, we're grouping. So we can take out an x squared. So we get x minus 5. Plus we can take out a 5, getting x minus 5. X minus 5, x squared plus 5 equals 0. So we set those both equal to 0. Can add 5 in this first one, getting us x equals 5. Now for the second one, we subtract 5 on both sides. And then we have to square root both sides. So we get the square, or we get x equals the positive negative I square root of 5. Don't forget, because we took the square root of that negative, that I came out. So this is one of our solutions. Okay. Remember, you will have as many answers as your exponent. And then what would we get for x on these ones? You should get set them up like that. Subtract 3. X squared equals negative 3. Square root x equals positive negative I square root of 3. And x equals 1.